Good evening. Please take a moment at this time to silence all your electronic devices and close your emails so that we may celebrate the joy and peace of this season of Christmas together. And in the silence of this sacred time, since there are so many hymns, we'll only rise tonight to sing a few of them, and I'll indicate when you will stand for that. Please use the carol booklets you took for our singing. We will use the gray hymnal only for our chalice lighting and for our responsive reading. Again, I will let you know when that will be. So now, make sure everything's turned off, including your brain, so that you can enter into the sacredness of our time together. On this night, we come together in the celebration of mystery, the birth of a child that changes the world, the touch of magic that brings awe to our souls, the myths and metaphors that call to a deeper truth through stories of struggle and hope, wisdom and peace, awe and wonder. On this night, we have permission to believe in the unbelievable. Virgin births and choirs of glorious angels, dreams of deliverance, gifts that appear from loving strangers, unending peace and goodwill extended to all. On this night, we are called in from our daily living. We have come open to continue the tradition of seeking answers to ancient riddles and sacred prophecy. Therefore, the Lord will give you a sign. Behold, A young woman shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given. Authority shall rest upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. We watch for signs and symbols unfolding before us. We seek truer translations and better answers. We ask who this child may be. We celebrate the star that leads us onward. This is what we do. This is who we are. Makers of meaning and keepers of promises. We take the mystery and we turn it into hope. We experience awe in everyday living. We ask to know the promises for what they are. Covenants of peace and goodwill. Covenants of justice and mercy. Covenants of love and kindness. Covenants that we affirm again and again, day after day and year after year. We hold these stories deep within as a star that we can follow, hoping to become our own magi, our own wise people, fulfilling our promises and offering precious gifts of our own to the awaiting, very needy world that surrounds us. Please rise in body or in spirit, wherever you may be, and join in saying together our chalice lighting, number 618, In This Night. And as we say this together, I will be lighting the chalice and the Advent wreath and our center Christmas candle for this celebration. In this night, the stars left their habitual places. We're saying this all together. So, we'll start again. It's all right. You're not used to doing it all at the same time, I know. In this night,
the stars left their habitual places and kindled wildfire tidings that spread faster than sound. In this night, the shepherds left their posts to shout new slogans into each other's clogged ears. In this night, the foxes left their warm burrows and the lions spoke with deliberation. This is the end revolution. In this night, roses cooled the earth and began to bloom in the snow.
let us join together singing carol, O Come All Ye Faithful.
Amen.
Be seated. Let us take a moment now of silence to hold all peoples who approach this season in the midst of conflict or war, and pray for that they may experience inner peace and loving kindness to overcome that which surrounds them day in and day out. And so may peace roll through their lives instead of the bombs of war.
The first reading from Luke chapter 2. Then in those days a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration and was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for her to deliver her child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn.
Please join now in singing O Little Town of Bethlehem. Please join me now in the responsive reading, number 621 in your gray hymnal. This time, I will say what is in Roman type, and you will answer in italics. They told me that when Jesus was born, a star appeared in the heavens above the place where the young child lay.
When I was very young, I had no trouble believing wondrous things. I believed in the star.
It was a wonderful miracle, part of a long ago story, foretelling an uncommon life.
They told me a supernova appeared in the heavens, and its dying burst of fire.
When I was older and believed in science and reason, I believed the story of the star explained.
But I found that I was unwilling to give up the star, fitting symbol for the birth of one whose uncommon life has been long remembered.
The star explained became the star understood for Jesus, for Buddha, for Zarathustra.
Why not a star? Some bright star shines somewhere in the heavens each time a child is born.
Who knows what it may foretell?
An excerpt from Man is Not Alone by Abraham Joshua Heschel. Authentic faith is more than an echo of tradition. It is a creative situation, an event. For the divine is not always silent, and humankind is not always blind. In every human's life, there are moments when there is a lifting of the veil at the horizon of the known, opening a sight of the eternal. Each of us has at least once in our life experienced the momentous reality of the Creator. Each of us has once caught a glimpse of the beauty, peace, and power that flow through the souls of those who are devoted to the Divine One. But such experiences or inspirations are rare events. To some people, they are like shooting stars, passing and unremembered. In others, they kindle a light that is never quenched. The remembrance of that experience and the loyalty to the response of that moment are the forces that sustain our faith. In this sense, faith is faithfulness, loyalty to an event, loyalty to our response.
Please join now in singing Carol, Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella.
A reading from Luke chapter 2. In that region there were shepherds living in the fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. Then an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for see, I am bringing you good news of great joy for all the people. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign for you. You will find a child wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." And suddenly there were with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill to all." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go now to Bethlehem and see this thing that has taken place, which the Lord has made known to us." So they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the child lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known what had been told them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds told them. But Mary treasured all these words and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as it had been told them.
Please join now in singing "Angels We Have Heard on High."
Angels we have heard
next reading is by Henry Van Dyke called Keeping Christmas. There is a better thing than the observance of Christmas Day, and that is keeping Christmas. Are you willing to forget what you have done for other people and to remember what have they done for you? To ignore what the world owes you and to think what you owe the world. To own that the only good reason for your existence is not what you are going to get out of life, but what you are going to give to life. Are you willing to stoop down and consider the needs and the desires of little children, to understand and to remember the weakness and loneliness of people who are growing older, to stop asking how much your friends like you, and to ask yourself whether you love them enough? To try to understand what those who live in the same house with you really want, without waiting for them to tell you. To trim your lamp so it will give more light and less smoke, and to carry it in front so that your shadow will fall behind you. To make a grave for your ugly thoughts and a garden for your kindly feelings with the gate open. Are you willing to believe that love is the strongest thing in the world, stronger than hate and evil and death? And the blessed life which began in Bethlehem 1900 years ago is the image and brightness of eternal love? Then you can keep Christmas, and if you can keep it for a day, why not always? But you can never keep it alone.
Please join in singing "It Came Upon the Midnight Clear."
I am not Isam Bore, nor can I do his accent. He had a COVID exposure. The next reading is from Matthew chapter 2, the visit of the wise men. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there, ahead of them, went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road.
Please join in singing the first Noel. The Sacrament of Christmas by Howard Thurman. I make an act of faith toward all mankind, where doubts would linger and suspicions brood. I make an act of joy toward all sad hearts, where laughter pales and tears abound. I make an act of strength toward feeble things, where life grows dim and death draws near. I make an act of trust toward all life, where fears preside and distrust keeps watch. I make an act of love toward friend and foe, where trust is weak and hate destroys. I make a gift of God of all my days, and look on life with faith and hope and love. Howard Thurman reminds us in his writing that there is faith, joy, strength, trust, and love here for us. That Advent is over, that now is our time to act. He encourages us to recognize we have the wondrous power in our living, the power of recognizing our own giftedness, our own abilities to be present to each other. That giftedness allows us to share who we are and what we have been given with others, to recognize that we need one another to help our world become a better place for all of us. Tonight's offering will benefit Prudence Crandall Center, and you can read more about them on the back of your order of service. Just know that your generosity will touch the lives of many who have experienced domestic violence. You may give through online or here in the sanctuary, and at this time, our ushers will gratefully receive your gifts. heart and spirit. These gifts will benefit not only you, but the community of which we are a part. Thank you so very much. Now, if you would please rise in body or in spirit. We will sing Joy to the World. Seated.
A poem by Robert Frost, Christmas Trees. The city had withdrawn into itself and left at last the country to the country. When between whirls of snow not come to lie and whirls of foliage not yet laid, there drove a stranger to our yard who looked the city, yet did in country fashion in that he sat and waited till he drew us out a buttoning coats to ask him who he was. He proved to be the city come again to look for something it had left behind and could not do without and keep its Christmas. He asked if I would sell my Christmas trees, my woods, the young fir balsams like a place where houses are old churches and have spires. I hadn't thought of them as Christmas trees. I doubt if I was tempted for a moment to sell them off their feet to go in cars and leave the slope behind the house all bare, where the sun shines now no warmer than the moon. I'd hate to have them know it if I was. Yet more I'd hate to hold my trees except as others hold theirs or refuse for them beyond the time of profitable growth, the trial by market everything must come to. I dallied so much with the thought of selling, then whether from mistaken courtesy and fear of seeming short of speech, or whether from hope of hearing good of what was mine, I said, there aren't enough to be worthwhile. I could soon tell you how many they would cut. You let me look them over. You could look, but don't expect I'm going to let you have them. Pasture they spring in, some in clumps too close that lop each other of boughs, but not a few, quite solitary and having equal boughs, all round and round. The latter he nodded, yes, to, or paused to say beneath some lovelier one, with a buyer's moderation, well, that would do. I thought so too, but wasn't there to say so. We climbed the pasture on the south, crossed over, came down on the north. He said, 1,000. 1,000 Christmas trees, at what a piece? Well, he felt some need of softening that to me. 1,000 trees would come to $30. Then I was certain I had never meant to let him have them, never show surprise, but $30 seems so small beside the extent of pasture I should strip. 3 cents, for that was all they figured out apiece. 3 cents, so small beside the dollar. Friends I should be writing to within the hour would pay in cities for good trees like those. Regular vestry trees. Whole Sunday schools could hang enough on to pick enough off. 1,000 Christmas trees I didn't even know I had, worth 3 cents more to give away than sell, as may be shown by a simple calculation. Well, too bad I couldn't lay one in a letter. I can't help wishing I could send you one, in wishing you herewith a Merry Christmas.
We are the designers and living vessels of meaning and promises. We take the sacrament of Christmas and we turn it into hope, into covenants of peace and goodwill, covenants of justice and mercy, covenants of love and kindness, covenants that we willingly affirm again and again, week after week, and year after year. After a moment of silent reflection, we will speak together this congregation's covenant, praying that our commitment to living it each day will grow stronger, so that it will become the blessings of goodness and peace we desire for ourselves and for the world in which we all dwell. Now, let us take a time of silence together. Please rise in body and spirit and say with me the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now we are going to light our candles. However, we're going to do this very carefully because there are a lot of us here. And some of us have stoles on and scarves and longer hair, etc. So the way we do this is one of us has a lit candle up. One of us has a lit candle, and the other one does not. As we come down the aisle to light the candles, the one who does not have a lit candle goes to the one who is lit, etc. So now let us sing Silent Night. Make sure you hold your hand next to your flame and blow your candle out. And as you leave, you will be able to leave to the song of our lovely bell choir, our choir, singing Ding Dong Merrily on High. And I wish you a absolutely stunning Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Blessings.